Okay, so in today's tutorial I'm going to be showing you how I created this flowing twisting cloth animation. The project file for this video is available on my Gumroad. If you want to support me in making more content like this, feel free to grab it and do some reverse engineering. So to begin with, we want to add in a plane. We'll drop in a plane and we'll turn the width and segments up to, let's go for say 22 by 22. We then want to hold R and rotate 90 degrees. I'm then going to move the plane across just so we kind of get this edge in the center. It doesn't need to be perfect. In my piece the cloths were actually a little bit more rectangular, so I might just drag this a little bit. It wasn't too much, maybe something like this. Maybe I'll lower this one. Yeah, this looks about right. And maybe I'll lower, I'll keep this, I'll do 18 for the width. And I'm going to up the height. Oh, I must have not changed that earlier. Yeah, I'm going to up this to 24. This should be fine. And then also, yeah, let's just adjust this again so we've got the edge kind of in the center line. And then I'm going to make this object editable by hitting C. And now if we go into our tools, axis center. I don't actually know which axis it is. Let me just try. No, so we don't want that. We undo that. Set this back to 0. It might be Z 100 and execute. Oh, okay. So we just want to do negative 100. Yeah. Okay. So we want the origin point to be on this edge here. So now we've got that. We can put our shape into a cloner. So holding Alt, we can just select this button. And we've got our plane in the cloner. If we just change the mode to radial and then also change the plane to ZY, I think this is what we wanted. Yeah, no, we want ZY. Okay, and then I'm going to up the count as well to something like 10. And let's just put the radius right down to 0. And what we want to do is change the start and end angle so that we can have them all together. So I'm actually gonna try this. I'm gonna put them all over this way. Yeah, this is about right. And then we basically just want to animate the spinning round in a circle. So we could potentially use the offset here, but I'm not sure if it will give the same effect. At least I didn't use this method, so I'm just going to go with what I did for my piece of work. So I'm going to drop in a plane effector and let's turn off the position and let's turn on rotation and let's figure out which way. So we want to use P. So I'm going to add a keyframe in and go forward to maybe 72 frames, and then let's just make it go all the way around. About that, that's fine. It doesn't need to be an exact number, but just make it go all the way around. We've now got all our planes in the cloner spinning around in a circle. So now that we've got that set up, we can add a cloth tag to our cloner. Go down to simulation tags and add a cloth tag. If we were to hit play now, our cloth is just going to fall because we've got gravity enabled. So if we hit Control D, go to gravity in this scene section and turn gravity off, turn that to 0. So now our cloth just kind of floats there. And I mean, a lot of it's just got stuck together, so maybe we need to add a little bit of separation. Or if we were to go actually back into our cloner, hit reset coordinates, we'll turn this off. And if I just select the plane that's in the cloner and just drag just slightly here, so that all the points aren't on the line, they've got like a little bit of a gap here, so they should, yeah, that's fine now, they all just sit there. Okay, so this is what we want. So now you can see that our rotation that we set up in our plane isn't actually in effect anymore, and that's because we've added our cloth tag, but we haven't set up our mix animation yet. So if we head into the cloth tag and go to mix animation, we can turn on with pins. So now we've got that spinning effect going again, but we haven't got the cloth animation. So now we just kind of need to play around with this influence. Maybe we could drop it to half. But that still isn't going to get the effect we want just yet, because we actually need to set some places where we want the kind of keyframed animation to really take place, or to like take control, and then where we want the rest of it kind of just to be free, or just, you know, simulate based on the settings we've set in our cloth tag. So what we can do is, if we go to our cloner, right click and go to other tags and add a vertex map. The first thing we could do is maybe add a box field. I'm gonna just drag this, so basically just, this is gonna be from the point it's spinning, so this kind of looks about correct really. So what we could actually just straight away go back into our cloth tag, mix animation, and drop this vertex map in there, and maybe just drop down our map scale. Let's try 60. So you can see we've actually got the inverse of what we want. So the outer edges, they are just not simulating at all. They're staying as the keyframed animation would be, and the center is actually simulating. You can see it wobbling. So we want the reverse of what this is doing. So if we go back into our vertex map, box field, remapping, and we hit invert. So now we've got the inverse happening. So the outer edges are simulating. It's not really what we want exactly, but this is on the right lines. So we could come back into our cloth tag and keep messing around with these values in mix animation. Let's turn the map scale down, see what this is doing. So, I mean, if map scale's all the way down, it looks like it's just not doing anything. So if we turn this all the way up, now it's like really, this isn't what we want. So let's find a middle ground. Let's try 80%. That's not too bad. It's obviously way too much flapping around, and there's some intersecting going on. I might turn it down even further. Let's try 70. Yeah, this is kind of getting where we want it to be. So I don't think it's necessary, but I'm gonna chuck in a friction right now, and just to see if this helps smoothen things a little bit. It kind of does, but yeah, we're still getting this issue. So I'm just gonna remove that. We'll leave that for now. So to get that kind of whipping effect, where it was almost like all the cloth pieces were almost like leaning over, I actually just used another field. So I dropped in a spherical field and moved it up. Just move it in place of where the cloth pieces are going to kind of pass through. So I'm going to leave it here. I'm going to change these values a little bit. Okay. Now these little dots aren't letting me drag on them, so I'm just going to go into the properties of the spherical field and change the inner offset. I'm going to increase it a little bit, and then maybe turn the max. Oh no, it'll be the size, wouldn't it? So the field size, make this a bit bigger. Now this spherical field we actually want to subtract from our vertex map. So let's change that blending mode to subtract. So now when our cloth passes through, kind of see that it's creating that whipping effect where they're all leaning over. And this is already looking quite cool actually. If I come out of lines mode with NA, yeah, this is already a really nice shot that created. So with the cloner selector, I'm just going to thicken these. So I'm going to go into here, holding Alt, and add a thicken. Change the thickness to maybe just 1 or 2. Let's go with 1, and then we could even subdivide that to make it even smoother. Holding Alt again. Yeah, this is looking really nice. But now I've subdivided it, it looks a little too thin, so I might up that thickness again. Yeah, this is looking quite cool. We might slow down the simulation, so we could just turn that off for whilst we're trying this out. But yeah, look, this is already looking really nice. We could chuck on some textures and kind of call it a day. I really like some of these shots. I'm going to turn off the work plane. Yeah, it's a really just simple. I kind of did it by mistake whilst working on a project, but just that this spherical field really causes a disruption in the simulation of it spinning around. So it's just creating this really nice bending and twisting. But yeah, it's a really nice look. I'm kind of happy with it really. I might move this out just a little further. Yeah, so you can keep playing around with this. I might even move it down a bit and out, see what it does. Oh, now this is just causing a bit of chaos. So maybe it needs to stay a little higher. Sometimes you can break the effect, so you kind of just need to find a sweet spot. But maybe where I had it before was, maybe I'll just go back to how I had it originally. I turned off the subdivision just for playback purposes, but we've got this really nice shot already. So if this is going too fast, depending on your needs, you could always slow down. If we go back into the plane, grab this keyframe, we can slow down the spin. Maybe I'll increase the timeline. So you can, so obviously the speed of the spin is going to have an impact on how much that spherical field disrupts. Like, this still looks quite nice. I mean, let me turn the subdivision back on. I'll turn it to 1. So yeah, you still get some nice shots, but obviously when it's going quicker and there's a disruption, it's going to be an exaggerated effect. So yeah, just keep playing around with getting the right value until you find something that you're happy with. But you could also, if you wanted to, if we went back to what we had before, 72 frames, this was pretty nice, I think. Maybe I'll slow it down just a tad, go to 80. Yeah, I quite like this one. Now, if you're happy with how your cloth simulation's looking, you could come into your cloth tag, cache, and cache the object. And then you don't have to worry about it having to recalculate every simulation every time you replay it. So now we can kind of scrub through. If you just wanted a still, you could easily just come through here and pick out a still frame to render. But yeah, that is how I set up the effect. It's really simple, kind of did it by mistake, but it creates some really nice results. It's just physics in play, really, just creating a disruption in a spin and like in a specific area. It just is creating these really nice shapes and bends. Yeah, really happy with this look. You could now just go drop in some materials, some fabric materials like I did. I won't do that in this tutorial, that's not really what I'm trying to teach, but all I did was grab some normal maps, chuck them in on a material. I actually created a couple different planes inside the cloner so that it picked random ones for each piece, but that's not the topic of this video, so I won't go into that. If you do get stuck on this video, please be sure to leave a comment. I'll be sure to do my best to help resolve any issues you might have. Remember, you can grab the project file on my Gumroad if you just want to get hands-on and figure it out for yourself. So that is it for this video. Please be sure to drop a like if this helped you out at all. But I guess, yeah, I'll see you in the next one.